We are going back to the standard Shadows of Gradiriel story, having finished our one shot previously. The one shot was great fun. I get to be the one to do the last time for this particular session because somehow the timing of the one shot stacked up to when our organization of the who does the last time resets. So that's cool. Which also means that David has the most sessions possible before he gets to do a last time too, because he's at the bottom of the thing.
Nice.
Lucky.
So beware
yes.
of one shots immediately before him doing last time.
Did. Thankfully, I don't see us getting a one shot again anytime soon, unless it's a completely different game. So, or we corrupt random somebody else and get another player, which.
Oh, jeez.
Which I don't see happening at this point. We pretty much got a full roster at this point. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right. So
theoretically, at this point, if Oak and Young bowed out, we would still have a perfectly sizable and balanced group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two originally entered the picture because there were only two players at the start, and we needed NPCs to have a fully sized party.
Yep. But Oak is more ingrained into the story, so it's not very likely that he would leave. And Young might have some story clips that get her to leave later, but we'll see. Anyway, last session the group dealt with the aftermath of the terrifying fight with Snaky Lady Bard.
It
And
sucked for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in doing so, they quickly dealt with all of her traps after having defeated her, which included a rush of water and a poisonous gas trap and more snaky people. It was fun.
He's over there tripping out in the corner. That snake's fine.
Our elephant friend threw a trippy fish at one of the big huge snakes to distract it, and it perfectly worked. It was great. And then you made your way out of all that mess and procured a chance to ride on a boat led by, or manned and captained by a wonderful Triton known as Adeline. This
Too
beautiful,
satisfied to realize that we've left town.
Yeah, this beautiful Triton was a perfect distraction to get you guys to not realize you were going the wrong way. You made your way onto Adeline's ship, which she referred to as Opal, and traveled a great distance before you realized you were going the wrong way, and you were already too far gone before she enlightened you that you were going to the wonderful continent of Ebon, which is, we ended last session with you guys. You were a couple days out from Ebon at the end of last session. Is there anything that anybody wants to talk about after having realized that you were not going where you wanted to go?
None that I can think
I
of.
blame Locke.
I wasn't the one who negotiated for the boat. You don't get to pin this on me.
You're supposed to be the responsible one of the group.
He's 17.
He's a kid.
No, it's a joke.
Sort of open up the story with if there's nothing anybody wants to do while still on the boat for a couple of days. We open up the story with Opal making dock at the wonderful town known as nor that this is the same exact tokens I used for my previous continent, but I like them so much. Meerfell. Yep. And thanks to Brian, Meerfell has a map. Yay!
Woo!
Oop.
That is what I do. Yes.
It is our map.
Meerfell is quite a different town, as Ebon is a very different place from what you guys are used to. Most of Meerfell's buildings, vast majority of them, appear to be of basically wood and thatch, in that they are not supremely solid structures. That is, except for two buildings in the center of town. One of them is a temple made out of bricks. The other one is immediately it draws your attention because it sort of sticks out compared to everything else, because it is a very tall spire, basically. So a long tower structure that goes several feet up. And yeah, it is made
Magic
of
people live there.
quite possibly.
No,
Or at the
it's game logic. Tall spire. Magic people live there.
or at the very least,
This
tall
is
spires
correct. It checks out.
or at the very least, tall towers usually equal magic. So yeah. And then one other thing that is, actually, everyone except for our new player that's not currently on the screen yet, everyone make a perception check.
Woo!
Pure set.
I'm gonna say single digit. No, 15.
I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
rolled a natural 1.
Do I see and or smell it?
You see your eyeballs.
Smell is not useful at this particular point in time. Well, not really. And then let me roll for NPC party members. Perception of huge from your furball. Boop. Who rolls the same thing as the one who rolled +5. And then Young.
If you don't want your +7 anymore.
Ish. Alright, there we go. Okay. So everybody but Locke would sort of pick up on this more so than anything else. When you've been in towns before. Meerfell is not all that big comparatively, and oftentimes you would be able to see out into like the wilds of the world from the town's borders. I mean, logically, it's out of your field of vision and gets pretty far, but you can get the idea of, yeah, this is rolling hills, or there's a forest over there, or something like that. Yeah, no. Once you get out of the borders of Meerfell, it just turns solid white.
Oh, snow.
And that's like visibility just instantly drops to 0, and you just see white. Yeah. Also, it's cold. Ebon is cold, and Meerfell is cold. People who are not necessarily
Find fire.
people who are not necessarily accustomed to such things would probably be very cold. Mm-hmm.
Locke is shivering. He did not dress for cold weather.
Let's go find fire.
Yes, please, hi. Just frantically hugging and shaking himself.
Yes. As soon as you donk, Adeline, your Triton captain says, yeah, we should probably find lodgings that would have a fire and it'd be much warmer. And then you guys can get the info to make your way to where you want to go, deciding if you want a boat or if you want to. As I mentioned before, and if players don't remember this because it's been about 3 or 4 weeks, at the end of last session, when it was commented on Ebon is totally not where you wanted to be, Adeline mentioned that there was ways to travel quickly from Ebon to Gradiriel. She just wasn't quite sure of where those were or who you would have to talk to, because she's never had to. She's always been on a boat. But she did know of it. She had heard it while speaking in the tavern and other such things. And last time Adeline was in a town, Adeline had a form that looked similar to that of somewhere between a wood elf and a high elf. This time Adeline takes a form that looks decidedly more half-elf. It is still elven in nature, though less so than her previous one. And upon her doing this, those who made the higher perceptions, which is pretty much everybody, because at least a 15 from silver, yeah, Ebon has no elves. In wandering around town, you don't see any elves at all. At least not of the typical variety. There are other races, of course. You see halflings, you see tieflings. There's a few tieflings here and there. Humans, half-orcs, typical standard races, and scattered about Meerfell as you're traveling around, you see that there are also blinklings, which you met a blinkling before.
Yes. Interesting.
These blinklings are less difficult to hide their features that back in Gradiriel were a little bit weird. And in case you're unaware, David, blinklings are a race that I pulled from 3.5 that I really like, and it's essentially a cross between a blink dog and a halfling.
Okay. All right.
Some weird shit went down.
It sounds
Mhm.
neat.
They're basically halflings, but decidedly more canine in some features. And they
They're
also have,
lycanthropic.
well, not, yeah, close, bordering lining lycanthropic. They have furry tails and furry ears, and occasionally sharper teeth and claws. But
They're basically midget Mithra, but dogs instead of cats.
something like that. They also have the innate ability to teleport.
Handy.
So now, you guys make your way into town. I'm assuming probably guided there to the tavern by Adeline, with the specific point of the tavern. This appears the temple. Tavern is probably over here. And the tavern in question, I actually have a name for this tavern because
Oh boy.
I'm being fancy this time. It's not very complicated to say. The name of this tavern is the Wrong Yak.
The wrong
Yak?
The Wrong Yak.
Why is he wrong?
Also, those who had a higher perception than
Yak's
20.
never wrong. Yak's best at everything.
Yes,
Sorry, I had to get my funny reference in.
I am
Is
okay
it a
with it.
Goliath that owns it?
No, it's not actually.
Oh, it would have been funny if it was. It'd be like, oh, that explains the name.
Whoever it is, please tell me their name is Rutherford.
No.
God damn it.
So, those who rolled higher than a 20 in their perception, which is Cad and Oak, you guys pick up on the fact, and this would probably be quote-unquote loosely related to smell, even though in looking it up, I realized that yaks are not actually that smelly. They just seem like they would be. And occasionally they are when they're in the wild, but most animals are. There is actually a farm off to the right that does have yaks and cattle in the back. Yes, you make your way into or towards the Wrong Yak. And immediately upon you getting close, there is a very broad, strong-looking human who is currently, as if he is a bouncer, tossing out a very raggedy and unkempt halfling. If you would like to describe your new character Bjorn for us, David.
Well, he's a pretty tall fellow, about 6 feet. He's dressed in a nice warm fur cloak. He's got his breastplate on, sword and shield up by his side, of course. But even though he's in the process of throwing someone out of the bar, he's got this sort of goofy grin on his face, like he's just having a blast. He's like, "Don't worry, friend. You can come back in an hour. Once you've cooled down, we'll have a great time."
For a minute there, I thought you were going to describe the halfling.
Now, I could have done that. And just surprised you
I was
all
like,
with my
wait, he's rather
brogue.
tall?
Just stealth right in.
Now, to be fair, he's in rags and is tattered quite a bit. But the halfling that was thrown out is somewhat familiar. Everyone but Bjorn roll for me wisdom, and I guess it would be a wisdom check to see if you remember him. It's not gonna be hard.
Wait, it's a halfling in ragged clothes?
Mm-hmm. He
Sick.
seems familiar.
Just a straight up wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom roll. Okay.
14.
Silver's the only one that realizes and remembers it right off. And he's a little ragged and rugged. He's been through some crap. But do you remember the annoying little spy halfling that you shunted off to somewhere random?
Oh!
Wait,
Oh! The one that Cat and I chased at like mock something.
Yep.
Oh! Yep, I remember him.
You do, but Locke doesn't.
You'd think he was kind of a memorable thing. But okay.
okay.
I mean,
wow.
his
For a minute,
clothes
I was
are-
like, wait, are you
his-
sure this isn't what was with Riven? And then I was like, oh, that's right, we had him tied up and shit.
Mhm. He's very much worse for wear than he was back then. Been a while. Keep in mind that you guys went for a trip in the Feywild, and
Right. That's been a
Right.
couple
we're gone for a couple months. So
He sent him to the home of the Blinklings.
did.
I was not expecting this.
So you Bjorn just sort of throws him out and's like, as you said earlier, David, get a chance for him to calm down. He can come back inside, that sort of thing. And Bjorn,
Well. How'd you get out of the Blinkling place?
he looks up at you, sort of blinks, and
She smiles and crosses her arms.
he is immediately going to back up. Like he does the like I'm on the ground and on my butt and sort of back up, back away. And yeah, he doesn't say anything. He just sort of stumbles backwards and then tumbles to get up and then just scampers away.
I don't think we'll see him in a few hours.
Yeah, that's fine. Can we get inside, please? I'm freezing my testicles off.
They dropped?
I'm going. I
Get
started
inside.
going through puberty years ago. They're in the process.
You're too skinny. Get inside.
What does that have to do with anything? As he's being shoved through the door.
All the while, Bjorn stands by, the confused onlooker.
So Bjorn, for your benefit, you see a rather motley crew. You see a half elf who you recognize. She comes in, a female half elf. She comes in every so often. Apparently, she runs a boat known as the Opal that docks in town sometimes, comes for supplies and back and forth. You've seen her a few times.
Okay.
And you also see a male half elf. He's a lot younger. Basically, yeah. You see a half elf woman that you've seen before. You know her as Adeline. And you see a furbolg, big, tall, somewhat cow-oriented individual because furbolgs are fun. And a rather stout dwarf female, and then our 3 actual PC party members, and you guys can go ahead and describe yourselves to Bjorn for Bjorn's benefit if you wish.
I would like to go last.
Okay.
fine.
I guess I'll go first. Locke, my character, half elf, very much on the younger side, like physically 16, even if due to how calendars and time dilation works, he's technically 17. So definitely on the young side, kind of scraggly looking, kind of messed up brown hair, bit of a dirty face, kind of on the skinny side, but not nearly as skinny as when the campaign started. He's put on a little bit since things started.
Donuts.
And a bit of muscle from all the fighting. It's not just fat from the donuts. He burns most of that shit off in transit. But yeah, and just kind of plain looking. Like he has on leather armor, but he keeps it sequestered underneath and hidden from sight via some kind of just plain looking clothes. Sort of all dark olive green tunic, some pale brown undershirt and just brown pants and boots, kind of plain looking. It's kind of the typical outfit you might see Phelan wearing in Skyrim. You know that wood elf hunter you can pick up in Riverwood.
Eh,
Okay.
Yeah, an outfit he looks kind of like that as far as his outfit goes.
Also, also as a side note, when the sort of disheveled half elf halfling started to scamper and disappear away, if Silver was watching him go, you see that he momentarily blinks and then comes back and then blinks and then comes back. As he was running away, he cast blur.
okay.
But anyway, so Cad, since Silver wanted to go last.
Gradiriel is an elephant loxodon. He is dressed in more or less fine clothes, although now he could probably stand to have a tailor fit him in a new suit. His suit's probably starting to get a little tattered because all this fighting lifestyle is not something that he was really accustomed to. He has a very large, shiny maul, two-handed maul over his shoulder, and despite looking sort of rough and rugged, he actually has sort of an intelligence to his eyes. So he seems to carry himself somewhat like a gentleman rather than a barbarian.
I see. Is he like the Bruce Banner kind of character?
You know, that's actually not a
Like
terrible
the
way of
Hulk.
putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily Hulk out, but his rage is very, very akin to hulking out, just without the transformation part.
God, smash!
Yes,
And also the fact is he blacks out during it.
indeed. Yep. The personality of Cad while raging is very different than the personality of Cad while not raging. But anyway, next.
Next is Silver. She stands a little tall. Kind of like early 20s looking. Black hair that goes down. She has few braids in it. And she has these white eyes that have black rings around them. And a unique thing is she has freckles that shine, wearing kind of she was wearing half plate that kind of has like not exactly a doll, but you would kind of think like a almost brush finish to them, but yet shiny at the same time.
Yep.
All right.
And as far as weaponry and armor and things, the Furbolg is in leathers, as is the dwarf, and the Furbolg doesn't appear to have a weapon of any kind on his person, and the dwarf has looks like she's wearing some sort of gauntlets that are very unique and interesting.
Unique and interesting.
They look like standard gauntlets, but there is something that is very different about them. They don't have any kind of particular magical shine or anything like that, but essentially she has bladed gauntlets. Before combat happens, I haven't really thought about it before, but when combat happens, she essentially sort of Wolverines because she has claw gauntlets.
Oh, all right. That's good.
So she's fun.
She's our resident ninja.
Yep. She's not very good
Everyone
at it.
should have one.
Rogue
He's not
monk
very-
hybrid.
Yeah,
Not very good at it, but she's a ninja.
She's McPunchy.
Why is she not good at it?
Because I'm a better rogue than she is.
No, she's done some cool stuff.
Yeah,
We just
but I mean,
weren't there to see it.
Yep.
She always, whenever she does cool shit, we are never there to see it. If she's there for us to see it, she usually kind of takes a backseat while Locke, the warlock, does the freaky rogue shit like picking locks and checking for traps and being sneaky.
Anyway,
It just makes sense for him to have that skill set as a thing.
It
Yeah,
does.
and if we don't want to care about locks, Silver's there to kick the door in.
True.
I remember that.
So, you guys all make your way inside. Rickwick, the little halfling, scampers away. And inside, you are presented with a somewhat lively-looking tavern. There are a few patrons scattered here and there, getting drinks and things. The owner appears to be a very stout halfling with sort of scruffy, long, dirty blonde hair. And since you effectively work here, Bjorn, you would know this halfling as Tinbrand. Like Tinbrand.
Tinbrand. Okay, gotcha.
And along with Tinbrand, next to him, next to the bar, is someone else that Bjorn's accustomed to hanging out with. Renee, like Franny, but spelled funny. Renee is a female gold dragonborn.
Ooh.
And she essentially works as bouncer opposite to Bjorn.
Okay, so my fellow bouncer.
Yep. And then there's patrons of all various different persuasions scattered about. Yeah. You guys are free to do with what you please. Adeline is going to go to the bar and get a drink or two, but that's what she's up to. Young sort of keeps to the shadows, just keeping an eye out, and Oak is going to basically follow wherever the rest of the group go.
Locke is beelining straight for the nearest fire to get the cold out because.
Mm-hmm. There is a hearth and fire off to the side.
The Dragonborn's at the bar?
Mm-hmm. Dragonborn's at the bar next to the
Silver's at the bar.
tavern keeper. All right. Where is Cad going?
Probably to sit by the fire. That sounds warm.
Granted, you have blubber. Ish.
Blubber can still be cold, and blubber can still be heated. If I start melting, we have a problem.
That's a beautiful image.
That is going on that blog.
Uh-huh. All right. So, yeah. Where are you heading, Bjorn?
So I'm assuming like I don't have like a certain spot I have to stand. I can just kind of wander around the bar,
Yeah,
keeping an eye
pretty
on
much.
stuff, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm intrigued by this apparently very cold half-elf because I don't see that sort of folk very often.
No,
So I'm gonna...
it very clearly, since Bjorn's not an idiot, so this very much strikes you as, yeah, this kid's probably, and judging from the fact he came with a person that you know as a captain to a ship, he's not from around here.
So I'm gonna sort of wander over to him and give him like a friendly clap on the back, like, "Oh there, you look like you're awfully cold. Not used to the weather?"
Not really, no.
Must be warmer where you're from.
A little. I mean, it's still cold where I've taken the living, but not like this.
Indeed. Where is it that you find residence?
South?
South. There is a lot south.
Gradiriel specifically. Northern half of Gradiriel.
Oh, I've never been. You have to tell me about it.
Well, it's varied. It's certainly that. Has a host of problems. I'm assuming Kat is like sitting right next to me since we both went to the hearth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just kind of slap him on the elbow. And we got these guys hanging out in the Capital.
Indeed.
I
Quite
look
a strong
up from my
looking
book
fellow.
and
And for what it's worth, Bjorn, you... Actually, I'm going to send you a thing in Discord. Fairly.
Oh, sure.
And Silver was going up to the bar then?
Yeah, she's gonna order a couple of drinks. What
Alright.
is the price of your, I guess, strongest ale?
Strongest ale would probably be about 2 or 3 silver.
Can I get about... She plops down 3 gold's worth.
Wow.
I would like this many.
3
It
gold. You did 3 gold, and I said there were 3 silver. Yeah, you get quite a bit.
My math is wrong.
You get quite a bit. I'll do the math momentarily. Just let me send this message quick to...
It should be roughly around 10.
Are you trying to get someone drunk?
She's gonna offer 1. Cat doesn't drink, does he?
Nope, not really.
Okay, she's getting 1 for
like
Yang.
once from peer pressure,
It's fine.
and then the challenger was done, and so I was done too, if I remember correctly.
She's gonna give 1 to the Dragonborn. Attempt to flirt, and if not, she's gonna sit there and keep drinking, like drink all the 10 with Yang.
Oh yeah, Young is up there with the other bar, and she's perfectly okay with this. All right. And as you sort of get, you said you offer 1 to Fernay, the Dragonborn.
Yeah, she wants it. Yeah, Silver's gonna be like, oh shit.
Shit, here, have a drink.
No, she's much smoother than that.
That depends on the charisma rolls, don't it?
Yeah. I mean, Silver is an attractive lady.
This is true.
Well, I've never seen a golden dragonborn before.
Of course it is. And the Dragonborn sort of just looks at you for a second and
A
goes,
smile and a wink.
and then she doesn't say anything, and then the halfling Tenbrand is just, oh, loosen up, Fernay. She's obviously one of getting drinks for lots of people here, at least, or at the very least, she may be entertaining. And Renee just takes the drink that you offered, but she's watching you.
Okay.
And sort of after a bit, she sort of starts to nurse the drink a little, and then she just sort of, you have dragon in your blood, don't you?
I think so. I'm not quite sure. I just, yeah, I have scales.
Yeah, okay. I thought so. Might have been my old eyes playing tricks on me, but yeah, okay, cool. And then she takes, without even asking, she takes another one of the other drinks that you have.
Silver quickly slides 4 over to Yang. It's like, these are for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
Them's yours.
And these 4 are mine.
So, with that, we sort of pan back over to the group by the fire, and Locke, you're just sort of warming yourself up by the fire without. I assume you're not making much conversation.
I mean, is Bjorn still there? Why did David just leave real funny?
Well, my Firefox crashed, but I'm getting it back. It'll be just a moment.
Okay.
Oh no.
I mean, I suppose a bit after the conversation lulls, I'll have Locke turn back to him. It's like, so do you work here?
Oh, yes. It's my job to make sure that there's no troublemaking, no one interrupts the fun.
Fun.
Oh, yes, all the drinking and the eating. Well, you wouldn't want anyone to spoil it. It's just a good time.
Right. Do you sell donuts?
Do we sell donuts?
You do sell donuts.
Well, of course we sell donuts. What sort of tavern wouldn't sell donuts?
Oh wow.
Would you like some?
I would love some. I did not want to come here.
My friend, warm yourself by the fire. I shall see to it that you receive donuts. How much do those cost, by the by?
I would say
I think we usually was it like a platter of donuts costs like the same as like a loaf of bread.
yeah, it's rather low. You can get a full platter of donuts for less than a silver.
Shit. Well, I will inform my new friend of this and make sure he's okay with the price.
That's fine. I'll just yunk a silver at him. I got plenty. to spare.
Perfect. Well, I'll be right back. And go off. I go off to get him a platter of donuts.
Yep, easy enough.
Silver's gonna sit there to the dragon, but like, so is there anything unique about this town here? We're new, if you couldn't tell.
Well,
He takes me all the way out.
Frenay just sort of tilts her head and it's like, well, not many people come here just for the sake of tourism, but,
Yeah, that's totally why we're here. Tourism. Sips her drink.
Shit.
do you want to roll deception for that? I don't think you need to. Well,
I mean, do you want me to?
it depends on if Silver wants to try to hide the obvious lie.
Well,
think-
that
I
is
think-
if she does an insight check on me.
I think ultimately that was just meant to be like obvious sarcasm, so I don't think there needs to be a roll for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, fair enough. So she's like, well, like many of the towns on Ebon, Meerfell here has the temple and the weather spire.
Weather Spire?
Weather spire, yes. I'm sure you noticed that there is a very, very powerful blizzard on the outskirts of town right now, but it's not affecting the town proper. Yeah, that's why.
Oh, so I was right. Magic people do live there. Okay.
Well, not magic people, magic person, but sure.
Magic person?
The spire only houses one room at the very top for one particular mage that has control over the Weatherstone.
Right. Have you met this person?
Several years ago, yes. He was an older
Is he
man.
Cranky.
Yeah, a little cranky.
Ah.
But he does, make sure that we have weather charms for the RCC. So, other than that, we're good.
The RCC?
Road cleaning crew. Blizzards and roads that need to be heavily marked, or at least distinctly marked. That's kind of important.
Right.
Wait, you do know about the, culture of Ebon, yes?
Do I know the culture of Ebon?
Roll
Can I
history.
make I was gonna say, can I make a history?
Yep.
Oh dear. That's a 3? Nope.
Oh no.
What is Ebon?
What is Ebon?
Is that a type of fish, or?
Okay, well,
Does Ebon stand for something?
you
Too,
obviously,
like the R's?
you
Is the
obviously-
RCC or RCF?
obviously are not here
RCC. Okay, I
for-
remember.
RCC, yes.
Okay.
You obviously aren't here for the tourism then. Ebon is a very dangerous place. Though,
How dangerous?
well, Ebon's ruling caste is made up of primarily giants and dragons.
Dragons?
Don't want to meet the dragons, trust
what
me.
kind of dragons?
Of the cranky metallic variety.
Cranky metallic kind?
Yes. In other words, they are metallic, they are good, they're not going to hurt anybody unless you get in their way. But they also don't like visitors unannounced. Either way, you...
Like,
Are you drunk already?
no, I really like dragons. I can handle my drink as she sits there and downs her third. I've had way more than this and survived.
Right, okay.
Meerfell just a small town or major city?
The major cities typically have giants presiding over them. Meerfell's much smaller. And there are several smaller towns all
So
over
what do the
Ebon.
dragons preside over? If the giants are presiding over the cities.
The dragons preside over most of the land itself and the mountains to the north.
Oh.
That is why we have to have clearly defined roads, because for the most part, our lovely towns here are sitting in the giants and dragons' backyard. Now,
Right.
I'm assuming you're not here for actual tourism. What are you actually here for?
Look, they have dragons.
That's great. This isn't Gradiriel, so I don't care.
But dragons.
We have shit to do back home.
Fine. We're on our way home.
Judging from your little friend's response, I would say you want to get home quickly.
I mean, yeah.
Preferably.
Yes, preferably.
Hmm.
I want to meet dragons.
Thus starts an elaborate 257 chain link quest to get us back on a boat home. Didn't see that arc coming.
Frenay sort of looks past Silver towards Locke at the fire and goes, "Okay, you obviously don't like the cold. How do you feel about a blizzard?"
I don't mind the cold. I like the cold.
I answer by huddling closer to the fire and still awaiting my donuts.
Cad shrugs. The cold never bothered me much anyway.
God damn.
Ah,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my lord.
Just let it go, Locke. If you let it go, you'll be fine.
Just wait till
It's
the
fun to
blizzard. We can all
record
go out and build a
Frosty.
snowman.
You let it go.
wow.
Maybe someone should go tell him.
Fuck you all. I don't want to take this shit no more. Fuck you all. Fuck you all.
That was beautiful.
I
Well
can't
done,
sing.
sir. Well done, sir. Anyway.
Oh, that made
Flip
tears.
the table. Screw you all.
And in a weird twist of fate, that makes the cut.
It probably will.
Anyway, Renee's like, alright, so, the way I see it, you got two choices. And then she looks back to you, Silver. You crave adventure, a little bit, I think. Or at least,
I mean,
or at least enjoy it, perhaps.
I have stuff to do, but I want to meet a dragon.
Get in the candy shop.
She really likes dragons, okay? Specifically silver dragons.
I can't imagine you would meet a dragon. It's very likely for you to meet a dragon, at least not unless one decides to come out and has some sort of issues. But if you're willing to have your little friend there brave a storm with a little bit of help, and you want to get back to Gradiriel quickly, you probably want to go to Mork.
Where's Mork?
Mork is a town to the north-ish from here. Well, most towns are north from here, but still. Mork is a town relatively close that has strong mages that can, I think one of them said that there was a teleportation circle that could get you to Gradiriel. I don't know very much about it myself, but I've heard about it.
Where does this teleport circle lead to?
Well,
Like, where's the connection? Because usually if there's a permanent teleportation, it's already connected to another spot.
in theory, if there's a person in Mork who knows teleportation circles and has a permanent teleportation circle, perhaps, you could send anyone back to any other teleportation circle. And along with the fact that you remembered the halfling that you had sent here, you know that you shunted the halfling to a permanent teleportation circle where the Blinklings, where at the very least Terrence was from.
Yeah, he's the one that sent them back.
So not a far leap in logic that if there's somebody in Ebon with the ability to cast teleportation circles, it may be related to Terrence. If the teleportation circle he sent Rickwick to.
What I was implying is it's most likely a really high chance that we're going to be sent back to the capital. Do any of us know the actual teleportation to Locke's mom's in Yukiegi? Like, has it memorized?
I don't think we have it memorized. No.
Actually, Gradiriel pulls out a book and thumbs to a page and hands it to Silver, showing Alessandra's rune circle.
This was out of character.
Right. Well, ultimately,
in character, I have an answer for that.
yeah. Ultimately, Cad did actually write down both Caverton seals and Alessandra's.
Okay, then we're good. Okay,
Yes.
then. Because that's always how I thought teleportation work is. Like, if you know like the location
this is
of
true.
the permanent gate,
This is true.
You're able to go to it.
I was remembering that you guys had somebody who had the runes, and I was assuming it was probably Cad or Locke, maybe, but it does make sense for Cad to have it because he actually did go out of his way in character to say that he wrote down the runes for the teleportation circles in both occurrences.
Okay, cool.
When we were escaping Caverton, it took Terrence a while to actually get the summoning circle like up and running. And so I whipped out a book and just jotted down the runes because they did not look familiar to me. And then when we got to Locke's mom's teleport circle thing, I noticed they were different, so I jotted those down too.
Mm-hmm. Regardless, she's like, if that's what you want to do, I would probably say that would be your course of action, at least to appease your friend over there.
Do I have donuts yet?
Yes, you do.
Yes,
sorry.
Yeah.
At about this time, Bjorn returns with donuts.
Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome, friend.
I'm just going to start scarfing, stress eating because I did not want to be here. I did not want to go this far north. I don't like the fucking cold. I want to go home so we can do our shit.
This seems like a great time for Bjorn to ask. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is when you find out that the donuts up north are the best you've ever had. So it's sort of like, do you really want to go home?
How good do they taste?
They actually are pretty good, yeah.
I'd like to headcanon it that they have sprinkles on them. I think that's important.
Okay.
They should be called yak sprinkles.
Okay, now you see, David, that's cheating because you know me.
Cheating is only a bad thing if you get caught doing it.
Yes, they have sprinkles, specifically because it makes sense me not knowing or not really minding anything about the whole quote-unquote.
So the Feywild has bagels.
It does?
Yes.
This is news to Bjorn.
Yeah, the Feywild has bagels. We found that out when we went to the Feywild.
I actually introduced
like the type of donuts based off region, like Ebon has like donuts with sprinkles on them of like different varieties, and then like over and was it fucking
Caberton?
no, the whole country over there.
Gradiriel. Yeah.
That word.
The word that we all word that we all
donuts.
mispronounce, even including me, considering I made it.
Yes.
Dipshit.
Yeah, has like different variety of glazed donuts, and then like somewhere else has like bear claws, and another place has Boston creams, like that whole thing.
Sure.
That
We
would
have
be
to
hilarious.
find a part of the world that has apple fritters. Then that's going to be huge.
Yes, we're gonna go travel the world for try different donuts.
I've heard of
I am
worse
okay with-
causes.
I am okay with this.
We'll do this when we're all level 20, and then we'll go and set up a bakery.
We can just have that be like our retirement adventure. Like, okay, we've saved the world. We got nothing else to do. Let's just go sample the mini donuts of the world before we settle down somewhere.
I have the name for your arc. Donuts of Gradiriel.
Ah.
Okay,
then
so
we like
Anyway,
sit there
back
and
on
like
track.
do Aw.
There was actually something I wanted Locke to say when he got the donuts. Like, you know, I'm actually introduced a satyr kid to donuts once.
I'm gonna need you to translate that for me.
I introduced donuts to a satyr kid.
Did you? Well, that sounds like
Yeah.
a fine deed. I give him a friendly clap on the back.
Yeah, well, he didn't sleep, so it was a bit of a mistake. Honestly, I should have waited until he got up the next morning. Then he would have had energy to spend on the trip where we were going. But, yeah, well, I wanted to de-stress, and he was a kid, and there were red caps involved, and
That sounds fair to me.
Actually, just because I love wonderful continuity. Bjorn, roll wisdom.
Oh shit. All right, 1 sec. Wisdom, there you are, my friend. Haha.
Nice.
Haha.
Yeah. If you, the player, David, know what red caps are, then Bjorn does too. Bjorn's fought red caps before.
I don't know off the top of my own head, but I can look them up real quick.
Red caps are like
Red caps are
No.
little gnomish people, little evil fey gnomish people that
Oh.
have
Are-
like metal boots and they'll kick your shin.
yeah.
Well, that's
they
rude.
They
Yeah,
they
it's
have
very rude.
They have very heavy metal boots that they use to knock people prone. They have sickles, and they're called red caps because they wear hats that look like the hats that like the seven dwarfs wear, but their hats are stained red because blood.
and they have to keep them stained red with blood or they die.
Yep.
It's
Blood
weird.
doesn't stay red for very long once it leaves the body either, so they must be some busy bastards.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
It-
pretty much
they-
wiped out a whole town.
They're
Gee,
vicious.
sorry.
They're vicious little boogers.
Oh, and then we
Um,
fought a hag.
Yeah.
That's
The worst looking hag I have ever seen.
So just laughs.
Anyway.
Sure.
So, yeah. You fought red caps before, and you know them to be vicious little things, typically. Yeah. So, you have Locke has his donuts. Idle conversation has been made. Potential plan of attack for what you want to do has been made in the form of, since you might have been BRB'd at that particular point. Renee, the Dragonborn, mentioned to Silver that if they want to make their way back to Gradiriel quickly, they could brave the storm with the help of the RCC, the road cleaning crew, and then go to Mork, which is a town upwards in the north that houses somebody who may know teleportation circles that could get them to where they want to be. And you,
Okay.
as Bjorn, you know of Mork as well. Mork is a relatively small town, both in the fact that it's a smaller village, and in the fact that the vast majority of people in Mork are small in size. Not everybody, mind you, but most of them.
And have I overheard their conversations about needing to get back?
Probably, yeah, because there was a moment when Frene was calling out to Locke, who was near you, so yeah.
Okay.
You would have heard that conversation as well.
In that
Also-
case,
As a side note, since you are the type of character who enjoys a good time, and that's part of your whole shtick, you really like the RCC, the road cleaning crew. They're a pair of gnomes that are very playful and fun.
well,
He's always typing.
if these guys need, well, okay. So if these guys need to get to Mork,
Maybe.
how
Do you
far
wanna
of a
get a
journey is
boat
Mork? Oh my
Bark, bark.
goodness.
No, Mork. Anyway, do you
Locke,
want
do you want to go on boat?
Well, I mean, how long did it take us to sail here?
About. I was assuming that now most of this you were on below deck, but to travel from Muzuchad to Ebon was about a week and a half shy of a month.
Oof.
What?
Several weeks at sea.
Ebon's really far north.
And boat travel isn't exactly super swift either.
No.
No.
Well, supposing that Bjorn has the next day or two off from work, he could offer to lead the party to Mork if that's where they need to get to use the teleportation circle.
True.
Is he offering that?
Well, of course he is. He's Bjorn. Always a chance to get out, have an adventure, have a little fun, help out a bit.
And Renee sort of chuckles and goes, and a chance to hang out with the RCC some more. You like them anyway.
Well, of course, they're a delightful couple, aren't they?
Yep,
The
they
who?
are. Yeah, Locke is RCC. Like, wait, what?
Road cleaning crew.
Huh. Interesting.
And then, you would have heard, if Bjorn had heard a lot of that conversation, you would have heard it too, Locke. That there is a road cleaning crew made of a pair of gnomes that help to keep the roads clear of snow because snow is very common, and they want to keep their roads clear and distinct because all of these smaller folk towns, medium-sized and smaller folk towns, are basically residing in Dragon and Giant's backyard.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
So what is like the whole road crew? Just just this couple?
seems that way.
Like how much roads is there here?
At least the ones that they are talking about. Maybe it might not necessarily be the only road cleaning crew, but it just might be the road cleaning crew that they see more often.
Okay.
And how far away is Mork?
Mork is... Double check my Ebon map because I made it distinct for miles instead of days. Oh, it is days. Never mind. Forgot that I actually...
No.
I forgot that I actually made it days. Mork is roughly 2 days away.
That's significantly faster than just shy of a month, so I vote Mork. I don't like the cold, I don't like blizzards, but I also don't like the water. I don't like being out at sea. One of these options lasts a lot shorter than the other. I choose the lesser of two evils.
So you're willing to stay out in the cold and like camp out in the cold?
I can run in directions when we're out in the snow. I can't do that when a devil shark attacks us in the middle of the ocean.
We defeated that devil shark just fine.
Yes, we did. That did not make it any less pants-shittingly terrifying.
The more Bjorn hears of these fellows' adventures, the more he likes them.
Right.
Would there be a place that sells like an extremely warm fuzzy blanket that I could purchase for Locke?
Is this place to just sell, like, really furry cloaks?
Yeah, I was gonna say furry.
Actually, yes.
I'm thinking like a fur cloak for a large-sized individual, not medium.
Getting it for a large size might be tricky. Well, actually, no, it would not be tricky. Yeah.
Giants!
I would like to have an outer cloak to go over my cloak.
I mean, yeah,
Bundle
you
up.
totally could.
What colors do they have? What kind of furs?
Well,
I like how we just went shopping.
I'll look over at Born like, so, and you're willing to lead us to Mork? You're volunteering for that?
Yes, I don't see why not.
well,
All right, well,
Fernay sort of chuckles and was like, well, him and the road cleaning crew, but yes.
Well, I think it would probably be good if we picked up some warmer attire first, because I sort of looked down at myself. I don't know if you noticed, but I am not dressed for the Arctic.
Oh, no, not at all. You're dressed atrociously for it. Do I happen to know of a place where they could buy warmer clothing?
Yes, you do. There is a basically a there is a tailor relatively close to the Wrong Yak that is associated with that farm that has the yaks behind it earlier.
Okay.
So yeah, And
Well, I'll tell
Let
them
me
all
get-
about it.
you know of a tailor of the Furbolg variety, older, female, by that name.
Jothana.
Yep.
Well, I will tell them. Well, there's a tailor just down the road. Jothana. She'll have everything you need. Wonderful lady. You'll love her.
Oh, fantastic.
What? Time of day is it?
It's
You
blizzard o'clock.
That's why I'm asking.
It's a horrible
Right.
time.
You actually arrived to Meerfell in about probably early afternoon. You had some drinks, probably getting close to like
Well, is there any way we can contact this cleaning crew and say, hey, we want to head out in the morning?
yeah. The cleaning crew should be stopping by in town, assuming they're on schedule. They should be making their way into town here fairly soon. They'll stop in here.
Jesus.
They'll stop in here.
Becomes a woolly mammoth.
Yes. We will stop. They will stop by here, probably to rest up. So, assuming they're on schedule, we'll see them fairly shortly, and then we can let them know that somebody wants to travel with them when they head back out.
Okay.
All right, and then I suppose you guys can get some rooms here. Bjorn, you don't have to pay for yours. You've been working here.
Well, of course. Sounds
Um,
like a good deal.
Also, Tenbrand sort of looks at you and goes, as you mute your mic, Tenbrand sort of looks at you and goes, Bjorn, I think if you want to travel with these folks, I think your debt to me has been fairly paid.
Oh, has
You
it? Oh,
You don't necessarily. I see these folks as might be a good way for you to have an adventure, especially considering their stories that they've told. And if
But
you ever
been fine stories.
did,
Well, are you sure if
are
you
you
paid my whole
bumming
debt?
him on to us?
It really doesn't feel like I've worked here that long.
I am not pawning him off to you. If he doesn't want to join you, he doesn't have to. I am merely saying he
Oh.
can leave at his discretion.
Oh no, I'd certainly like to if it's all right.
Hey, we just showed up in town. We barely know you.
Well, I'll lead you to Mork. We'll see how that goes.
That can work as a decent trial run, I think.
Okay.
I assure you, I am a delight at parties.
Insight check.
Oh shit.
Not you. You're not rolling insight.
You're rolling deception. If
You're rolling deception
I-
if Bjorn is lying, which he is not.
No, Bjorn loves parties. It's his favorite thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have
Interesting
to-
fellow, I guess.
Then how,
Okay.
about, then how about just a raw charisma check?
Yeah. Roll just straight up charisma.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, if that's what it takes, give me a sec.
Unless you want to tell me what he for 15. What's he like? Like
Oh
Oh.
shit.
Looky there.
shit.
Bjorn
Okay, I
seems
guess he's just a charming fellow. Okay.
He does.
He is.
He does indeed seem charming.
Hmm.
Bjorn is here to make friends.
Right.
Also, Silver.
Hmm.
You would know this just straight up. The magic that there is, you sense it, you feel it, and everyone else gets the overall benefits of it. But you sort of pick up more precisely what it is, because you have it too. There's an aura about Bjorn, not quite as potent as yours, but it's the same one as yours, or at least similar.
Very curious indeed.
If anyone
I
of
was
the
zoned out when so I was zoned out when this was asked. What time of day is it?
yes,
It's like afternoon.
afternoon, leaning into the like maybe 4 or 5 p.m. range. So if you go to someone to set up to get you cloaks, she could work into the evening to get you cloaks. By the morning, you could then travel and you'd have cloaks.
Okay, that works.
What kind of furs does she have for clothes?
Mostly yak, because yak.
Oh.
Mostly yak, because yak. Okay.
But I mean, she does make it out of other kinds of wools and furs and things. She just would have to. If it wasn't something that's easy for her to get to, you would probably pay a little bit more so for the wool. But
Okay, let me just ask this. What colors are there?
she has dyes and things because it's herbs. I'm just gonna make it easy and say you get whatever color you want as long as it's an herb that's relatively easy and not like purple. You're fine. I don't see Silver wanting to dress in purple.
I think she's gonna go for just white with the blue undertone, like on the inside.
Okay, yeah, that would be fairly easy to set up.
So
go-
what's the largest one that she would have?
Oh, yak.
It would be sort of cobbled together to be a rather large blanket. And if you're asking her directly, she's like, "Well, I don't have any of the really large blankets with me currently, but the largest that I have ever made was a baby blanket for one of the giants up north. I could build something like that. I think some of my more normal fitting ones would fit you, though. You're not that big."
Something that would wrap around me, but maybe could be folded in half and still wrap around me. So like taller than I am.
She sort of tilts her head, and she's a female furball. She's strange. And then she sort of mumbles off and goes to get you blankets together. Anyone who would want to be able to listen can roll a sort of short perception to see if you heard what you said.
Okay.
I don't suppose I could smell what she said.
No,
Nope.
13.
13's not hard.
13.
22.
Yeah, and you definitely heard it, Cad. And Bjorn, you could roll perception too if you like, but the info that she is saying softly you would already know anyway. And she just sort of mumbles off and goes to the side, and you guys pick up on her saying, strange. Most of the others of his stature around here tend to favor the more normal sized. Oh well. And she goes and gets set up to make you guys cloaks and blankets and however other form of attire you wish to have.
Yay.
How much did you say it would be?
He didn't.
I didn't yet.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is a reasonable price. I not even say things for like. Oh, there it is. She will give you one for. She will give you all for your normal sized attires choices. She will give you a cloak for about 3 silver each. She has plenty of yaks that she can get furs and things from. She's got stockpiles up and other things. Most people that are around this town already have their winter clothes, and they don't get a whole lot of tourists. So 3 silver each, or some combination thereof, will get you your cloaks. And then for Cad, since he's wanting a bigger one, 5 silver.
Okay. And next random question. I don't know if such a thing would exist. Would they have any sort of goggles? Something protective of the eyes when trekking out in a blizzard?
You could probably get those, but not from a tailor. Not generally.
So I would ask Bjorn if he knew of anyone who would have like protective eye coverings or something like that.
And
Bjorn,
does Bjorn know?
Bjorn, you would find that to be slightly amusing because you know he's not going to need those. If you guys travel with a cleaning crew, the snow's not even going to touch you.
Oh, well, I will inform of this. So, sir, don't worry yourself. On the road we're taking, there will be no need for such precautions.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Although you do know of Although you do know of goggles that were developed by like more chemical and like the more herbalists and potion makers and things have made goggles and things before, so they do exist. He just probably doesn't need them. Not for this track.
What race is Bjorn again?
Bjorn is human.
Oh, okay.
Also, the cloak Locke gets, I'm gonna go ahead and say, just gets in this nice greenish color, just to keep it on brand for him.
That makes sense. What is Silver's cloak? Or wait, you already described Silver's cloak.
Yeah, it's gonna be like white on the outside with like a blue interior. It's just gonna be like, how does it look? Do I look fabulous?
It's fine.
Thank you.
Young and Oak will Young will get like a basic generic sort of darker brown cloak, and then Oak will get, he'll sort of favor his towards green in the same sort of fashion that Locke did.
You said 3 silver each?
3 silver each.
Okay.
And mine was 5 silver. I
Yours
will
was-
drop that.
5 silver.
And I guess if we're picking custom colors and stuff, dark blue.
Yep. With that, you guys go and get you a room for the night. Which the rooms cost 5 silver. Because it's actually fairly decent here. Timbrand has done a good job to maintain a rather comfortable environment. It's not necessarily as 5 silver.
Now, how many beds per room?
5 silver a room. You could probably fit 2 beds in a room if you wanted to be cheap that way.
Young with me. I already paid.
At Locke will we'll buy another one.
All right. So Young's rooming with silver.
I'm sure if you ask, you can fit another bed in there.
I mean, it's 5 silver. Bjorn's already got his own room.
Yeah, but I was thinking for Oak. It's gonna
Young's
say
is-
boys in one, girls in the other.
I mean, yeah. Boys in one,
If
girls in the other, and
You
then
can get
Cad.
another bed in there.
Yay.
I mean, yeah, sure. 2 rooms is fine. That works. Cad, Oak, and Locke in one, and then Silver and Young in the other. Makes sense to me. I think Oak will go ahead and pay for the rooms for the 3 boys. That works for me.
I
That easy.
already paid. I already subtracted
Oh, yeah, you
my
did.
money, man.
Okay, that works. Cool enough. So
You said the room was going to be how much for me?
if you want if you want to share with Oak and Locke, it's not going to cost you anything, but it's 5 silvers if you want your own.
I can share if there's room. That's fine.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
It's actually pretty swanky, though. This is the first time in a long while, because you've been staying in like Yuki and more fancier taverns and things, except when you were in like Fremont. This very much reminds you of the kind of inn and tavern that Gabriel had in Fremont, being mostly made of wood as opposed to more stone. So you're good. Rest up. Get ready for the morning. Upon getting up in the morning, those that are late risers, which is pretty much Locke and I think Cad usually gets up later in the evenings, or at least he doesn't get up early per se.
Not necessarily first thing, but I mean mornings.
Silver is usually the one that's up first. Be an early riser.
Yeah, 'cause gotta do that praying. Gotta keep in touch. And, make sure I have the right spells.
Which
Sure.
I would imagine that though we have not necessarily decided it yet, Bjorn would do much the same, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's about a 7, 8 in the morning kind of guy. Not super early, but he's got to beat everyone else to breakfast. Make sure he gets a good portion.
That and Bjorn prays for spells too.
This is true.
We just haven't decided who his deity is yet. Silver wakes up in the morning. Bjorn not far behind, doing various different morning routines and things. And with the two of you up, and then Cad just getting up and getting downstairs, the cleaning crew is there as well. And you see a pair of female gnomes, specifically of the rock gnome variety. So they're sort of stout and strong looking. One is...
I misheard you. See, I misheard you for a second, and I thought you said the lock. I was like, wait, hold up.
No. Rock...
Hold up, I am not a gnome.
I know you're not, but rock
Yeah.
gnomes.
It's a dream.
They're sort of stout. One has one appears a little bit older than the other. It's got faded dark hair that just sort of fades into a soft gray, and then the other one is much younger and has just dark brown hair. And the two of them are basically keeping those that come down for the morning breakfast have music playing, because the younger one is playing on a little. She has a sitar. And she's
early for that.
never early for song, dear. And
People sleeping still. I'm going to need another order of donuts.
Tin Brand smiles and's like, "Here you are. You're good."
Okay. He will pay when he gets here.
He smiles. All right. And Bjorn, you're also downstairs, and then Cad, you're just making it here as you hear this sort of soft, lilting music. It's lively, but it is actually soft because people are
Okay.
still asleep. Yeah, and Bjorn, you've heard the gnome play this song before. You know her as
Okay. Well, Bjorn is going to have his morning mug of mead while he, jives along with the music.
the sitar is actually fairly close to her own size.
Yeah, I totally forgot they were big.
They're
Mhm.
huge.
Yep. So you have that. Yong and Oak would come down. Yong a little worse for wear because she probably drank a little bit too many drinks last night. She got more than you gave her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Silver slides the donuts and be like, "You gotta pay the man."
Well, if Locke's coming downstairs, he's the one paying for donuts because they're his.
Yeah, Silver is sliding it to Locke, telling him,
Oh.
"Pay the man."
How much?
It was, I think I said, yeah, it's like a silver for one pallet of donuts easily. So they're relatively
Okay,
cheap
I'll-
because they're basically like bread.
Yep, so I'll just pass and just start chomping.
And then you hear the soft, lilting music of the sitar, and you see the pair of gnomes that are playing a little morning song and things.
Music.
And then once everybody in the tavern is more awake, the song gets to be a little bit louder and more lively and uplifting. And then Tindra, the tavern owner, sort of looks at him and goes, "All right, you two, I love your music. You know this, but these people here want to be heading up to Mork fairly quickly, so might want to cut down your routine a little bit just so that you can get to traveling. You're going to be having other people with you, so you might not travel as fast. So
I don't know. We can be pretty fast.
the two of them sort of look at each other and goes, and then the sort of older one of the two is like, as fast as a pair of war horses? I think not."
What?
I can probably be that fast when I'm on that guy's back. I point at Cad, and I have the right scroll for about a minute.
Oh, right, the blur.
And I know this because we have done it.
And now I have a cloak that's tall enough to keep both of us warm when you're on my shoulders. I mean,
What?
Oh, okay. I was wondering, it's like, what?
I get it now. That's yeah.
and that's why I wanted him to
That's
have goggles.
smart.
If I ran really fast, we could both be warm, and he doesn't get snow in his eyes.
I mean, yeah.
Huh.
He's gonna need a face mask as well. Or else his face is just frozen in the sheer terror of how fast he's going.
Anyway, all right. So the two gnomes sort of nod to the tavern owner. Like, all right, fine, makes sense. Well, if the rest of you are ready to go,
Let me finish my donuts.
got quite the
Lock.
got quite the sweet tooth there, kid, huh?
I take whatever comforts I can get.
That's all he eats.
Bullshit, this is what I eat when I can. If this were all I ate, though, I would have died of starvation a long time ago. You were being sarcastic, weren't you?
Yes.
It's too early in the morning for this.
Well, get your ass up and let's go. The cold will wake you up. Now, come on.
Nom, 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 come on. You get those
have a cloak
follow.
So Cad folds the giant cloak in half, puts it on around himself, and then sort of squats down to one knee and gestures up on my shoulder towards Locke.
Huh? Oh, okay. I'll hop up as per usual, piggybacking on Cad.
And then once he's up there, I want to grab the edges of the cloak that I had like folded down and flip it up over his head.
Ah, hiccup dark.
It's just fabric, Locke. Relax.
Yeah, shouldn't have surprise us
Oh.
all.
Well, it's like tanned flesh and hair and warm and soft.
It's trying to get in my mouth.
And it is dark blue.
Nice.
Does dark blue go good with green?
No.
Sure.
Well,
Think of every
they're both
overworld
cold
map
colored,
ever.
so-
You have grass and you have water.
True. All right. Anyway, so the two gnomes sort of look at each other and goes, "Okay, yeah, we're gonna travel with this group. They seem fun."
Okay.
And you make your way out. And you begin to make your way out of town proper, led there mostly by the two gnomes, but also by Bjorn. And then as soon as the two gnomes realize that Bjorn's coming too, they're like, "Oh, Bjorn, you along for the adventure this time?"
Always, of course. I live for this sort of thing.
You haven't been out on the road with us in a long time. You've been sticking to your bouncer job, so just wanted to make sure.
Well, had to fulfill my obligations, but they are fulfilled, so on we go.
So what did you do to have to be working there?
Oh, it was a terrible incident involving an elk and an ale cart. It's best not discuss.
What did you do?
Elk and an ale cart. Yeah, now I have to hear this story.
Yes. We treasure the truth in this group very much.
Well,
When it matters, especially.
if you must know, I'd had a few drinks one evening.
Oh, this
I
is
was
gonna be
riding
good.
my elk that I had at the time, you see. Very noble creature. Down the street at speed. I wanted to feel the wind, you see. And I hit an ale cart bound for the Wrong Yak. Overturned its contents, ruined a whole shipment. So I agreed to work off my debt. Seemed the honorable thing to do.
And what caused you to be like? What were you drinking for? Was there a purpose, or were you just having a good time?
Oh,
He
good
seems
time,
like he
always.
just has a good time all the time.
Of course.
Having a good time. I'm sorry.
Having
Yep.
the best time.
Did you take a level in Bard?
No, but
No.
I am a voice actor. So
Oak sort of looks at you, tilts his head, and he's like, "You had an elk at the time? Where's the elk now?"
yeah. Now I want to know that. What happened to the elk?
Oh,
is
he's-
he okay?
Oh, he's fine. He's probably grazing in the Feywild, waiting for the next time I need him.
Wait, what?
That raises questions. Can you just summon him?
Of course. Observe. I assume we're outside.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
I will use the Find Steed spell and manifest my Fey elk. Steed.
I know that spell. I didn't take it.
Huh.
And you guys watch as Bjorn sort of focuses his energy, and there's a small little pinpoint of light that grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and then suddenly full-scale elk, glowing ever so faintly.
Hell yeah.
Huh.
I poke it
Oh.
to see if it's actually real.
snorts at you.
Oh, he's real.
That
That's
is-
an
Interesting.
very.
He's my friend.
What's his name? I'm assuming he has a name.
Hmm.
Didn't
You don't
plan
have
on
a
names
name
yet,
for
did
him,
you?
do
You know, somehow it didn't occur to me.
How is
Lionel.
he your friend?
It's not Lionel. Okay.
You disappoint me, but all right.
His name is Rupert.
Rupert.
Rupert. Okay. I'm okay with that.
Like the most. This is like the most meme of a character in this entire damn party, and I'm loving it.
Okay.
Good. Good at that. Oh, Silver. Well, actually, most everyone. It's worth noting that this particular elk, not only is he glowing ever so faintly. Those of you who have been around animals for any stretch of your life, so pretty much the only one that really wouldn't necessarily pick up on this straight away would be Cad. There's an intelligence behind his eyes that's not normally behind elk, which makes sense, but
If it starts talking to us, I swear.
I don't like
No.
that laugh.
no, it doesn't talk. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it does not have any. Unfortunately, the spell does not list that it has the ability to speak.
Does he want
But-
a carrot?
It's-
I don't know. I'll
Oh.
go build him a snowman, and then he can have the carrot. They'll be best of friends.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Rupert would be okay with the carrot. That's fine.
I was making a joke.
Anyway, yeah. So the gnomes sort of look at each other, then look at you, and if you're through, we need to get going if we're heading out early.
Yeah. Lead on, please.
And the two gnomes lead you down to the edge of town, and you see that they have a cart, and two rather strong-looking war horses pulling this cart. It's big enough to hold a couple people along with them, but probably not the whole party, especially if Cad was in there.
Oh boy.
So
You said they were leading the cart with bull horses.
war horses.
War horses. They're thick and stocky.
Oh, war horses.
Hmm
I was doing Google image searches for bull horse, and that's sort of terrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, don't do that.
Okay.
War horses. They're very stout and strong-looking horses.
What's their movement speed?
Fast.
Feel like it's like 40 or 50 or something. Hold on. No,
If it's 40, I think Cat can keep up. Or does he have 50 now?
he has 50.
Okay.
Movement speed for a war horse is 60.
But are they going to be going full speed?
Considering they're carrying a cart, probably not. If most
And I
of the,
could theoretically dash.
I mean, there
Double
would
my speed.
they technically would be dashing to go forward anyway. So, ultimately, I think with a mostly full cart, they're probably not going to be going full speed. And Cad will be able to keep up fairly well.
Okay.
So they sort of get the cart ready, get everything together. You see that the older of the two gnomes, she sort of brings out from her pocket a sort of small, sort of oblique stone. It's got a little rune on it. Bjorn, you would know that this is the weather charm that they use to sort of maintain, or part of the weather charm for maintaining control and keeping Meerfell away from, keeping the blizzard away from Meerfell. And the smaller shards, such as the one that she has, is typically used by the cleaning crew to help them keep the road clear for at least longer than, they go to clear some of the snow, and then there's a blizzard outside, so it's immediately covered back. Yeah, no, they're distancing it out the snow a little bit with the use of the magic, so that they can clear the road and it's not immediately covered again. But yeah, so
Alright.
she's getting this little pendant stone ready, and you see a cart It is not a covered cart, oddly enough, but it is a large enough cart to house a couple people. And the two gnomes will climb aboard and sort of look back to your group and goes, we're not going to be able to carry everyone, but...
That's okay. I already have a mount, and I'll pat Cat on the head because I'm already on his shoulder.
Alright, of course we'll ride Rupert.
I
Sure you
guess
will.
it's just 3 of us.
Silver, Young, and Oak are in the boat, or in the cart, rather, not boat, cart.
Yep.
All right. So with that, you guys begin to head on towards Mork, and as soon as you leave the outskirts of town, for like the briefest of moments, there is just a intense blizzard right in your face, and then there's a glow from the older gnome as the stone activates, and there's like a shield of essentially magic and air that is keeping the blizzard away from you.
Silver brushes off whatever snow has gotten through, just a little bit before it
And
went
just
up.
a little bit.
I want to imagine that like Locke's long-ish messy hair just got completely swept back and is now frozen in place because it's so cold. So now he just looks like Vegeta if Vegeta stood in front of like a wind turbine for too long.
Yeah. Is Bjorn in his full armor attire at this point?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's got his helmet, he's got his armor, he's got everything ready. He's on the road.
Alright, yeah. So that...
I guess if we just like look around, it's just white, just complete white.
Yeah, there's a lot of white. Over the course of the road, there's just this fog. People who, you can sort of pick up on things, but only like a couple feet out. A couple, maybe 10, 15 feet out away from the snow. Your vision is just obscured outside of that. Yeah, you begin making your way up north-ish. And we'll
Gonna
pop you
swap
back.
back to the Ebon map.
Yep, I will plop back to the Ebon map. Yeah. And Mork, located. There we go, Mork. Ta-da!
Ring.
So you begin making your way north. It's a couple days travel, as I said, 2. And as you're going forward, the younger gnome, the older one is sort of focused on the stone to keep the snow away. But you see that the younger gnome of the two has just got her hand in front near where the horses are and is essentially using mage hand to sweep the snow away, back and forth, like a magical snowplow.
Huh.
Not
Any
very,
help with that?
not very efficient, but it does seem to be fun.
Need any help with that? I can do that too. I'll just kind of conjure up a mage hand of my own.
Oh. Well, that's nice. Sure. You have fun shoveling snow around, go right ahead.
Thumb wrestling with 2 giant mage hands.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna send out my own mage hand and help shovel stuff aside.
Yep.
And,
Alright. So,
and I am now reminded of what Kat said earlier about snowball fights, and oh no.
I mean, in theory.
I am developing a temptation that I must resist.
So you sweep the snow away. You're making your way forward. And Locke, since you're sort of helping shovel snow back and forth, you pick up. At one point, you shovel it off to the side, to the left of the road, and for just the Locke and Cad roll perception, and I guess Bjorn too, because you're out on the road. A little too far away from those in the cart.
11.
11. And a
I
random
can
20.
smell the snow.
Oh yeah,
And I
actually,
see it too.
you see it very well. Okay, yeah.
There we go.
Ed, you pick up on the smell, and Bjorn and Locke, you will see just as well. As you shovel the snow to the side, there's a brief moment where, like, there's, like, as you were shoveling it back and forth, there was this, sweeping sound, and it hits against the ground, and it's gone. At one point, it the snow sort of thuds against something different than just like ground or rocks. It's like something a little softer. And you pick up on maybe the snow didn't hit like a rock or the ground normally, it hit something else. And then, Cad, you pick up on a smell that there's some sort of very strong, almost sort of incense, very aromatherapy style something in the air that's in and about the area where you judge are passing. Smells really good, actually.
Kind of okay.
Yeah, it smells really good, actually.
Interesting.
And you would pick up on the smell well as too, Bjorn, and you would know that means that Raltos is nearby.
Tos.
Raltos, rather. Raltos is nearby.
Raltos. What is Raltos?
Raltos is... I'm going to send you a thing in Discord right quickly. Typically comes around tavern every once in a while. Buys incense and herbs from like the herbalist shops and things nearby. Came to town once or twice. Or came to the tavern once or twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not worried about that then.
Yeah.
Be pretty relaxed.
Just means that she's relatively nearby. Yeah.
Aren't the dangers tingling?
No, not really.
I'll let my fellows know it's nothing to be worried about.
Oh, all right.
It smells good.
I think that's a good enough response, Kat. It's like, it smells good.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I can't really smell it. I'm pretty sure my nostrils have sealed shut.
Wrap more fur around your head.
Oh, well. You make your way forward. And there's a brief moment as you travel on by, and then probably get about maybe 20 or 30 feet away from where that was, and there's a brief voice from behind you that's not going to say hi. You normally don't travel out this way, Bjorn. Or at
Well,
least you haven't in a long time.
Bjorn will turn and offer a friendly wave. Well, I've been paying off a debt.
Traveling with the RTC, I see.
Oh, yes. Well, it's a good way to get on the road, isn't it?
And a rather motley... Interesting. And you guys turn around to look, and you find a sort of somewhere between priest and monk style attire, female Loxodon that is speaking to Bjorn.
Interesting.
Oh,
What?
oh,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Cat, it's one of your people.
Yeah, I suppose.
She sort of tilts her head, looks at you, and she's, interesting. What sort of crew have you gotten with now, Bjorn?
But it seems like the fun sort, at least. Leading up to Mork to use the teleportation circle. How's the road ahead?
Oh, it's fine. I believe the young giant twins are having one of their wrestling matches again up further north. You might want to be careful of that.
Oh dear.
But other than that, you're fine.
Doesn't sound like it should be too much trouble.
Don't get too close, and you
Giant
should be okay.
twin?
Giant twins, yes. If you didn't know, the Ebon towns are in a giants and dragons backyard, as we mentioned, as they mentioned prior in the tavern. But sometimes some of the giants like to roughhouse a little bit closer to the roads. That's why we have to have them distinctly marked.
Huh.
So, but anyway, at any rate, if you little crew is heading out up towards Mork, yeah, I suppose you should be fine. There's some interesting things going on in Mork right now, but you should be all right.
Interesting things.
Yeah, apparently they've had a few minor inconveniences from some of the local, the nearby goblin tribe is coming in and causing a ruckus. You know how they do.
I see.
which, as a minor aside, that I will go ahead and not type because that'll take. But Bjorn, you would know that the goblins here on Ebon are usually more civilized. Usually.
Very strange. I wonder what would cause them to act that way. Maybe I'll look into it while I'm up there.
But yeah.
So, do you sell incense?
Occasionally, yes.
Do you have any interesting or strong incense that I could purchase off of you?
Well, sure.
I don't know in particular what I'd be looking for, but
Well, tell you
it
what.
smelled nice with a green 25. So
Tell you what. I'll give you the some of the incense that I typically have around my temple up to the northwest of here. But here you are. You don't even have to pay for it right now. Consider it a gift
thank you.
to a fellow Loxodon from across the sea, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone but Cad, make for me a perception check.
Oh boy.
There's
4.
lies in
Why am I rolling so shit today?
Can I not even smell it?
Not this kind of thing, no.
16.
Oh,
8.
Bjorn got distracted by a butterfly.
Butterfly in the snow. Good to know.
New Clive. Great.
That is a young, and now I need an oak. Same as silver. Okay. So there was this interesting thing. It was a very small thing when you caught onto it a little bit back in Caverton and other places, but Cad's was a lot different than other Loxodon in Caverton. Concept of he had bigger ears was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he has bigger ears too.
Ooh.
It is a weird quirk, but you sort of pick up on it. And the way that she is interacting with Cad is as if she's curious about him. And that's why she's... I mean, you don't necessarily... It would technically be a kind of an insight thing, but she's not making it very hard to pick up on. She's curious about him. And so she's willing to give him a little bit of incense. And for purposes, the incense smells like some sort of, if I want to pull a David, in the sense of, putting sprinkles on a donut randomly because you know your brother likes it. It's sort of a somewhere between cinnamon and jasmine, sort of a smell. So yeah,
Interesting.
that was really good. So, yeah, Silver and Oak are the only one that sort of pick up on that because everyone else rolled crap. Granted, it wouldn't really matter to Bjorn very much because Bjorn's not really seeing the Loxodon anywhere else. So he pretty much knows Loxodon with big ears.
Yeah.
Alright. So, I don't know if anybody wants to play with that or anything.
I mean, Locke didn't even notice.
Nope, Locke didn't notice. And she sort of hands off the scent to you and she's like, just consider it a gift from one Loxodon to another from someplace far off. I don't believe you're from around here, yes?
Yes. I mean, no.
No, I'm not from here.
She sort of chuckles. Alright. And yeah, you can... She sort of smiles and gives a soft bow to Bjorn and the rest of you, and then she wanders off back into the snow.
That was interesting.
Indeed.
And you guys make your way onward for a little ways, and you get to where you're setting up camp for a night. You get about halfway out, and you start to make camp for the night. Winterstone sort of keeps the Weatherstone sort of keeps the weather at bay as best you can. It's like, okay, so when we lay down for the night, if we want to keep the snow off of us, we kind of have to sleep in shifts. But you all look like adventurers, so you're kind of used to that.
Yep.
So anyone who's whoever is up on keeping watch needs to be focusing on this crystal here. It's pretty straightforward. It doesn't take any strong amount of energy. It just takes your focus and concentration for a bit. And you should be fine. And yeah, you guys will sleep in shifts. And we will do a quick little perception type thing for when you're in the night. Do we want to have like pairs keeping watch together, or now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, technically now 9 because of the gnomes. I don't necessarily know how we want to split it up, but it don't really matter the organization of the watches too much. But go ahead and roll some quick perceptions for your watches and times, and anyone who wants to have a conversation will say that there was some sort of split between where you could have had a conversation with that person. Now it's Silver that's rolling the garbage.
It's come back around to haunt me.
Bjorn's doing all right.
Whatever it is, I can't see it, but I might smell it. Of
Alright.
course you do.
So, with that, let's see. Yeah. Sort of about midways. This, I'm assuming Silver's going to want last watch. She usually wants last watch.
Yes.
Okay. That's why you rolling 5 didn't much matter, because by the time morning comes, what you guys would technically be hearing or feeling or sensing would be gone. Throughout, we'll say, Locke, are you going to do a watch by yourself, or are you going to do a watch with, like, say, Cad maybe, or...
I'm feeling really drowsy all of a sudden. Locke will, yeah, sure, I'll hold a watch with Cad. He knows Cad. He likes Cad. Cad's fun.
Sure.
Okay, so it's more so on your guys' while you guys are on watch. You hear, like, well, I mean, you got mention of it earlier. There is a crashing and thudding of something very large, somewhat close by. It's out in the snow. You can't really see it. It's obscured. But there is crashing, there is thudding, there is movement. And yeah, rolling like a 17, just higher than a 15, you are hearing sounds of, for lack of a better way, fighting. And it's very loud, very heavy fighting. Akin to, perhaps, as was mentioned prior, a giant wrestling match.
The instruction was to stay away, yes? Like, to
That-
just not get in the way of that fight?
That is what Raltos had mentioned, yeah.
I mean, I was asking that in character of whoever was awake, but okay.
That would be Cad. The only one who's awake is Cad.
Yeah, that's what Vralta suggested.
I guess just let them duke it out, and if they wander into a visual, just hope it's a good show, I guess.
Sure. Oh, hey, Locke. We should pass off our watch to Bjorn after this.
Yeah? How come?
So Cad rummages around and puts on his entertainment hat.
Oh no.
What are you going to do?
What is
What
this?
should I turn into? What's the most fun?
I don't know. Can you make yourself look like you, but a lizard? Like, can you like make your elephant nose look like a long salamander tail, scaly and segmented? Can you do that?
Don't know.
Oh no.
Not really.
Dard, can you do that?
Not
Oh.
really, no.
I think it has
well,
to
how
be
about you-
something that resembles my normal anatomy.
How about you just? Well, okay, fair. How about you just make yourself Shadow Grasp then?
I didn't want to scare him. I wanted to impress him. He likes things that are fun.
Can you use that to just change your skin color?
Are you thinking bright pink like the frosting on the donuts?
I mean, that could work. Or just make yourself a literal walking rainbow.
I'll turn myself into a pink elephant with a rainbow-colored suit.
Sure.
I love it. It looks so hideous, and I love it.
So yeah,
Okay.
assuming nothing else of note happens, that's my
You should
plan.
give yourself like this little tuft of like freakishly blonde hair on the top of your head too.
Done.
Excellent.
Sure. All right. So, Bjorn, you're woken up for next watch. I guess that makes that easy. This
Do a
was
perfectly normal lock. Do a
um,
perfectly normal lock and
And an elephant
whatever.
sort of grinning and doing almost like a ta-da sort of gesture.
Oh man. Well, Bjorn, you'll initially be like sort of, waking up. Then he sees that. He hops to his feet and is like,
Rolls over.
"Who
to
goes
sleep.
there? Who are you?" He's sort of like fumbling for his sword in the dark.
Oh hey.
I poof back into my normal self, and it's okay, Bjorn. It's just me. You said
Oh.
you like fun things, and this is my entertainment hat.
Well, that's is that all? Can you do other things?
I use it and change into shadow grasp and look very like moody and emo and just nod.
Yeah, Shadow Grasp is like, since you weren't here for when we came up with Shadow Grasp is the nickname we have for like when he turns himself into like this really tall, sort of elf-like looking individual who's just draped in dark clothing, face hidden from view under a hood, and just like glides along as if on marbles.
Tall, lithe elf rogue. Yep.
Well, tell me, friend, is there where did you get this hat, and are there more like them?
You're asleep. We
I know. I'm
No,
the
we-
only one that knows the story of what happened.
honestly,
Oh.
it's kind of hazy. All I know is that we were dealing with a dipshit down in Gradiriel. I think it was in a port town. I think no, I don't
Nope.
remember, but
Nope.
Wasn't it in Caberton?
no.
it might have been.
What was Caberton? Isn't Caberton? Is Caberton the capital or
Yeah.
Yeah,
no? It's the Las Vegas city.
Yeah, that's right.
right. Yeah,
It was the Vegas city.
it was in the city that's like just a city that never shuts up. We were dealing with some sleazy business jeweler person, and Silver went behind closed doors with him for a little bit to negotiate or something, and the rest of us just kind of hung out in the lobby for a bit, and I guess something went wrong because a few minutes later she came running out and just had stuff, and we left, and it was very confusing, but I'll gesture at Cat in the hopes that he'll take the cue and turn it into something equally ridiculous as what I first suggested and say, we got this as a result, so I can't really complain.
Mm-hmm. Who was it that was chasing us?
Well,
Okay,
no one was
out
no
of
one was really no one was really chasing you at that point in time. This was mostly some. This was basically what happened with this hat was it was suggested to you by Gretchen because she knew her uncle had it, and that's who you were dealing with. And Gretchen said that you were wanting it the hat of disguise is what it is. You're wanting the hat of disguise so that you could go back into Caverton with Cad.
All right, Uncle Langy was his name.
Yeah, and what happened was, like, Silver went in to the face, had you two stand out guard looking for, like, a half orc or something, and to stop him from coming in, because I pretended to be like, hey, this person sent us, you're in trouble, so you better start making up for it. And it just started falling apart, and so she just held person, took the hat, and whatever gem she found on the shelf, and she ran.
Nice.
So yeah,
So yeah,
it's
the paladin stole.
it's technically I think called a hat of disguise, but it amuses me, so I call it the entertainment hat.
That's fair enough.
I just wanted to show you something entertaining. I know I'm usually pretty dull, so
Bjorn is thrilled right now.
a hot pink elephant with a rainbow suit.
He's going to be riding this mental high until the next time he finds a mug of ale.
All right, and to be fair, the not that they are awake to see it, but the gnomes would enjoy such a story as well. Yeah, so you and Bjorn, as they're waking you up to get ready for your watch, you do hear, because your perception check was high enough, you do hear off in the distance the giants that Rautos spoke of, which you've been traveling the road before and hearing one of their sort of rough and tumble fights, so you know just from hearing it that, yeah, that's probably giants.
Just kind of shake my head, like, go to find a spot to sit for my watch.
Yep.
But Bjorn's not terribly worried.
Alrighty. So, with that in mind, I am going to roll a thing, because why the heck not?
Oh.
Oh! Huh, okay. So, Bjorn, as you are doing your watch, the tumbling and things become just a hair louder and closer, and then out of the edges of the road, you're sort of focusing on the stone as well because you're the only one that's really awake right now. You see out in the distance the giants tumble in and are relatively close by, probably like maybe 20 feet from the road itself. They're close enough now that they're close enough now that the like haze of the snow is not strong enough for you to not see them, and they sort of tumble through sort of on top of each other in this sort of tackle tumble and hit edges of the rocks, and they are they're nearby.
Oh, well, that's dangerous. Well, Bjorn is going to quickly go about waking the others, starting with the gnomes.
Okay.
Since they'll be like the most familiar with this route, the most collected about it, I assume.
Yeah. So they sort of wake up and they're like, huh? What? Oh. They like immediately pick up on the thing. Okay, so we want to something like that. We want to probably get out of here. Wake up the others and run then?
That's what I was thinking, yes.
This is probably about the middle of close to the end of the watches. I was sort of thinking Oak and Yong were first, the gnomes were after that, then Locke and Cad, and then Bjorn, and then Silver at the end. So this is, everyone's got a sizable chunk of their sleep is done, but as far as like, full rest, not entirely.
Oh shit. All right.
So, yeah. Bjorn and the gnomes will go to shake everyone awake, and then immediately everyone, without any perception check needed. The other giant's about 15 feet away.
Oh shit!
We need to very quickly move along.
We're leaving. We're leaving. Cat, where? And Block just like stumbles and trips over something before getting himself fully coherent.
What happened? Oh, those are some big giants. Okay.
Yes. And as Silver's woken up slowly, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're right over there.
She's just going like, whoa.
We are leaving.
We are?
The big thing's fighting nearby.
I don't know. That one looked like he's about to win.
No one ever wins. They just keep rolling. We should not be here when they roll through.
They just keep rolling.
Rolling. They keep on rolling.
They keep on rolling, and we keep on hating. That's how it goes.
Oh, that's nice. Looky there, what I
Bjorn's
rolled.
been rolled over in his sleep before. He's a little bitter about it.
I guess Silver gets up in the cart and be like, 5 gold, that one's gonna win.
Hey, looky what I rolled, folks.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
That's
So-
a net 20 and a 6.
Dude. So
26 damage to who?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place you guys over in my very bland, basic battle map.
Oh no.
Oop.
It's Sid White out.
White? Yep.
Oh, shit. I'll zoom out because I can't see anything now. Oh, there everything is.
And Bjorn, is this token down here?
Alright.
That's blue.
Yeah.
Considering the time, we are going to do a quick, for fun initiative roll, and yeah, one of these two giants, just for sake of hilarity, the one that Silver was like, yeah, he looks like he's gonna win. Yeah, he saw you.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Silver waves. Hi!
Oh yeah,
I'm
sure.
rooting
Okay.
for you.
No.
Kick his ass! I got 5 gold on you. Oh no! Oh, that's Cad.
uh,
16.
then as you mentioned prior in the one shot, if you want to go ahead, but so for sake of interest, I'm going to sort of end the shenanigans of what's going on at this sort of nice cliffhanger. There's giants, poof.
Dun dun dun.
And yeah, it's sort of a very, very cliffhangery moment. And for what it's worth, I rolled a D percentile of a decision of 50-50. Do they tumble in to see you, or do they tumble in to see you, or do they miss you entirely? And when I rolled a D100, assuming in my head, roll low means they see you, roll high means they don't, I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
I
Well,
like
that was
how,
just straight up meant to be then.
We will do a nice end of session type thing here, because I don't want to do a combat this late at night because it's already hitting about 11, which is Kenneth's cutoff. I'll do this has been Shadows from, say, Brian, and then last time can be Kenneth. Sure.
Okay.
Or next time, even.
Next time can be Kenneth. I keep doing that.
This has been Shadows of Gradiriel.
Join us next time as Cadriel learns to dance with giant people.
As we all learn how to dance with giant people. I'm sure our toes will look like barfs when the day is done.
Sure, we'll go with that.
That is a Spaceballs reference.